Hi everyone, my name is Elizabeth. This is Frizzy Lizzie Stitches, but today it's Frizzy Lizzie Scribbles because today we're going to be setting up my bullet journal for November. So I took big inspiration from the October Pipsticks subscription club, and it was very like fall cozy vibes. So yeah, I used stickers from that pack, and then just found markers and washi tape in my collection that kind of went with the colors. So there'll be lots more of me talking over in a voiceover, so I'm gonna pass you along to the footage now. Hello. I told you I'd be back. So for the cover page, every time you get a Pipsticks subscription, they come with this little magazine. And the magazine, like, Mo, the Pipsticks creator, like, writes a letter, and then they has, like, sneak peeks in there for future subscription packs. But the cover always has this cute little pattern on it, and usually it matches the vibe of the stickers. And so I had this bright idea to use my Cricut to cut out the letters to spell November to use for the cover page. So, and I think it worked out really well. Definitely some improvements to be made. I got the sizing right, but my blade on my Cricut is really old, and so I did not select a deep enough cut, I guess. So I did have to spend a little bit extra time kind of like tearing it off of the main paper, but all in all, it was fine. So, and then as far as like attaching it to the paper, I was going to use this Elmer's tape runner, but it ended up just not working out really well. So I ended up switching to a glue stick, which was, I guess, a little bit messier, but it worked a lot better. So, and this is the kind of glue that like it goes on purple, but it like dries clear. So, yep. But I also started with like putting the letters, the middle letters for November down first so that I could center it as best I could. This is a trick that I learned from my mom while I was the many years that I helped her decorate her door for her classroom. So, and then I'm just making sure that no glue is kind of left over. And now I'm going through all the stickers for this month. These were the October stickers, and they usually Pipsticks picks stickers that will, I guess, coordinate with the next season. So like the September stickers had a bunch of spooky October things, and then the October stickers had a bunch of like cozy November type stickers. So like those pie stickers you see there on the left like are very Thanksgiving-y to me. But for the cover page, I ended up going with these leaves, and I was really proud of myself because I feel like it's always difficult to use the stickers. So I just decided to go ham, use as many as I felt like I wanted to use, because that's what the stickers are for, to be used. So I feel like with sticker sheets and with journals, you always have that like, I guess, kind of intimidation of like using the first sticker or making the first mark in your journal. So I've been trying to practice not feeling so like, I guess, paranoid about that. Bullet journaling really helped with that, like the notebook part of it. But now I'm trying to not be afraid to use my stickers. So this, while I'm setting up the calendar here, I thought I'd just briefly mention my filming setup. So filming from a bird's eye view is definitely a little tricky, and requires a little bit of MacGyvering, I guess. In my last video, I did like from the side angle, because that's just how I best was able to get my tripod without the tripod getting in my way of being able to still work in my notebook. But I found a way to be able to do it this time where it actually is overhead and the tripod's not in my way. I didn't risk bumping it, wasn't going to get my head in the shot too much. So, and I think it worked out really well. So I'm pretty proud of that. I know like there's a bunch of different equipment out there that you can buy, but It seems so silly to spend hundreds of dollars on a piece of equipment that literally has one purpose. So I was glad to be able to use what I already have and make it work for what I needed it to do. So the creativity never ends, I guess. So I am doing the same, I guess, basic setup from last time. Really the only difference that I changed throughout each month is kind of like the colors and the stickers and the washi tapes and things like that. Functionally, I like it to be pretty consistent. I definitely will experiment with things until I kind of like find what works best for me. So this particular setup that I currently use took me like probably 3 or 4 months to get to this point of, having that page cut in half and having my habits underneath that flap and all that kind of stuff. So my biggest tip, I guess, for setting up your own bullet journal is not necessarily to copy other people that you see, but take inspiration from what other people are doing, and kind of make it your own and make it work for you, because I think that's really the beauty of bullet journaling, is that it's a planner that you get to customize for your own needs. So not everybody needs an hourly setup or a vertical or horizontal, or sometimes you don't even need a whole weekly spread. Sometimes, like for me, I love my bullet journal for habit tracking, so I kind of make that a big focus in my spreads. But yeah, I definitely think like not putting a lot of stress on yourself and starting with the bare minimum and just doing what feels right is kind of the best way to go about bullet journaling. I feel like you can get burnt out pretty easy if you just like try to make it cute all the time and kind of lose focus of like why you're doing it in the first place. Which if you're trying to just have a creative outlet, that's cool too. But just, I guess, make sure that it's serving your purpose is my best advice. So one of my favorite parts of the Pipstick stickers are these letter sheets. And so obviously I had to use the ones for this month. The only downside, I guess, is like trying to make sure that you don't put the same color letter next to each other, and then making sure that there's enough letters to spell out the words that you're wanting to spell. So that's me kind of analyzing what I can spell out with what's left. I definitely like to be able to spell out the month and the, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday at the top there. So I had enough letters where I could spell water on the side here for my water tracker, and then I end up having to use my own handwriting for my habits and my step tracker. So, but no big deal. The other thing I really like doing is using these tiny little micro stickers to fill in the dates on the month that are not November. I think it just helps keep things like structured, but adds a cute little flair to it. So, and then I always like to use this side column to note my monthly goals and then kind of give a highlight of what's gonna happen next month. And really the next month section just ends up being like people's birthdays and holidays and stuff. But because most time I feel like there's not too many things that I have planned out too far in advance. So, and obviously if it's more than a month away, it would go in my future log. So now I'm just kind of filling in every little empty space that with some stickers. And then I'm setting up my habit tracker now. So another thing I wanted to mention was tracking habits. So obviously I write them all down in my journal, but I don't open my journal like 15 times a day to mark off these habits. So I basically doubly track them because I use apps on my phone to track a lot of this stuff, so that my routine has been the next morning I will look at the previous day and note in my journal what I accomplished as far as habits go, or like how much water I drank or how many steps I walked. And I like putting it in my journal because it gives me a visual of things. So like for steps I can see, like how consistent I was with walking, 10,000 or more steps. And then same thing with water. How consistent was I drinking 8 cups or more of water? So I think having it, like writing it down and visualizing it helps like kind of emphasize like you trying to complete that and make that habit and complete that goal, because you're like constantly, you're like looking at it and like acknowledging it by writing it down. Whereas if I were to only do it on my phone, I probably would just like never really, I'd be like, oh yeah, I did it, but never really look back on it, I guess, or see like trends or things like that. So, but yep, I'm just going in with more stickers to try to fill in some empty space and add some, I guess, flair to my trackers. There's not too much space for me to be able to put stickers on, because obviously all of that blank space is going to be filled in with my actual habits. So, and then I think now I'm trying to like add in some things on my calendar. There's not too much to add right now, but I do have a couple family birthdays this month. My sister is, I don't even know how old she's turning, probably 23, I think. And then my little dog Daisy, who lives with my parents, I think she's going to be turning 13 this year. So that's really big for her. My other dog that she grew up with made it to 12 and a half. So she's already older than he was when he passed. But yeah. And then let's see, Thanksgiving. I think later after this video, I ended up adding like Veterans Day and daylight savings time ending, but I didn't really think about those when I was doing this, so you won't see me write that down. So now I'm just trying to fill in as much space as I feel necessary to kind of add some decor to the calendar. Really, this calendar is more like as a visual aid than anything, because when most things come up, I usually just write them in my weekly spread or on my weekly task list. So really, I only end up using the calendar for like at a glance type things, so like birthdays and holidays. Or if I have like a doctor's appointment, I'll try to put that on the calendar if I didn't already put a sticker on top of that box. So, I just got an email. Anyway, so another thing that I have been recently enjoying in my journal is using a weekly spread. There was a long time where I wasn't using a weekly spread because I didn't really like have a lot going on, or I didn't really have a lot of like, I guess, goals in mind to be able to track on a daily basis or weekly basis. So I've definitely incorporated this into my routine, and I really liked using the rolling weeklies, which is like an adapted version of the Alistar method for future planning, but it's used for managing your weekly tasks. So I've been trying several different layouts to try to incorporate that, with also having a space dedicated for each day of the week. So I think this is kind of going to be like the setup that I go to now, because I think this is probably like the 5th time I've tried a different type of setup. So anyway, I'm just saving about half the page for like any tasks for the week. And this is also kind of like, if I know something needs to get done but I don't know what day I want to do it on, this is where it would go. But like if I had an appointment or something, then I would go ahead and write that specifically on the day that it's going to happen. Or like I always wash our sheets on Sunday, so like I'm not going to write that task on the rolling weekly. I'm just going to write it on Sunday because I always do it on that day. So another thing I'm including on this is like a mini calendar in the top corner and highlighting the week that we're in, just because I think it's a cute little visual to kind of know how far we are into the month. And it's definitely cool if you have it in the same spot on every weekly spread, because then you can kind of see the weeks progress. So that's going to kind of be my intent for this month. So again, I'm just trying to find some stickers to add to kind of liven up the page so it's not so boring. And another thing, I always like end up adding stickers as I'm using my journal as well, because I find that I like filling in as much space as I can, but I don't want to add stickers prematurely because I don't want to take up any necessary writing space that I might need. So, but yeah, this is pretty much the setup. So I thank you guys so much for watching and joining me, and I hope to see you guys next time.